make. Some of the resin's still a little bit gooey. And it's a bit tacky still. So I'm leaving this in the sun for a little bit because the sun hardens the resin faster. I opened a new jug of hardener yesterday. It's the stuff you mix in with the resin to harden it. And it seems that different batches behave differently because I was using the same amount of that I was using before, but I think with this new one I have to use a little more. Alright, I guess I should just answer this question on camera so I don't keep responding to the comments. Why am I putting black in the resin instead of white? Because won't white reflect the sun away, but black will let it in? Where do we start with this? Okay, first, let's just start with some practical information. What lasts longer, black zip ties or white zip ties when you use them out in the sun? It is always recommended to use black zip ties because they won't get brittle in the sun. Same with PVC, you need to use black because it doesn't get brittle like the white does. And say you want to black out a room and you have white curtains or black curtains. Which do you use? You put up the black curtains because they'll block out the light. Now I think the misconception here is because in school, I guess they don't teach it very well, but basically black absorbs the light and white reflects light. But black isn't absorbing the light like letting it go through. It's absorbing the light like taking it right into the black pigmentation and then turning it into heat. So it's actually making the light disappear while it's changing it into something else. The white reflects more light, but it also lets more through because it's not absorbing the light. It's not doing anything with the light except just redirecting it, either back out or lets it go through. So you get a lot more light passing through with white than with black. Now with black you get more heat, but the plastics aren't as sensitive to heat as they are to sunlight. Like the heat won't make them get brittle nearly as fast as sunlight will. So if you want to keep the light out of something, black it out. Or dark color of some kind. Unless I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about, which is possible. Oh, but the black heat may be a problem if you have to touch the stuff and it's hot or you're standing on a black floor. In that case, just put a top layer of white or yellow or some light color. And then that'll reflect a bunch of light, and then the light that gets through the light color will get absorbed by the black. Science, 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 science! Get out of here. I need to use science to make this harder next time. The part is a little bit gooey still. Darn it! I guess that's not the worst thing in the world, because this curvy part is the part that's going to get fiberglass attached to it to attach this to the next part, like that's where the seam is. So if this pulls up and exposes a bunch of the fiberglass fibers, then the next layer will just stick to them easier. So I guess that's not a big deal. The main part came out nice though, so that's good. This isn't a problem because that's all going to be gone over with fiberglass anyway. So I'll just sand off these bits and then that'll all get covered. The mold is kind of annoying. It left kind of a mess. But I'd still rather spend a few minutes cleaning up my molds than doing like a test batch on every thing of resin and hardener. Because most of the time it works out pretty well. And if anything goes wrong like this, I adjust pretty quickly. Like I mixed 2 batches to make this thing, and I noticed the first batch wasn't getting thicker, it wasn't hardening, so I put a little more hardener on the second batch. And yeah, that one's fine. Well, it came out pretty good. So I've got my pontoons, right? And they're big, long canoe kind of things. And this is going to go on the top of one of the ends of them. And the bottom edge, or the pontoon will come up right up to here about. And then I'll drill a hole through and rivet it in a couple spots just to hold it in place while I put fiberglass over the seam. Now right here, there's like a little step. Like from here to here it goes down about 1/8 of an inch, which means I can put a piece of fiberglass here and it won't make like a water holding ridge. So the water will still be able to come down off the side. Good thinking, Jamie. Ooh, I sure hope that thing fits, because I'm about to make 3 more. Ooh, these are so much easier to make than giant pontoons. I did flip it over and stand on these spots, and it held me up no problem. But it, flexed a little more than I wanted it to. So just for safety, now it's got extra layers. I just want this boat to be super strong. Ripped up a bit of wood on that one. After my second pontoon top there, I tried to fix the tabletop a little, and it did not work. When I pulled up the third piece, it ripped up half the table with it. Anyway, then I spent 20 minutes hacking at it with a knife, and there was blood and some swear words, like, "You banana-brained monkey magnet!" And the table is, well, I don't know if you can see anything. Yeah, anyway, under this piece of sheet metal, there's a whole bunch of shredded table, which I'm ignoring. But I have this piece of sheet metal, which I have to not mess up because it's stainless steel and I want to use it for something else. Anyway, I got that all set up. And then it started pouring rain. For like 10 minutes, just long enough to get everything soaking wet. And I may have said more swear words, like, "You flabbergaster butt smuncher," or something. Anyway. Stopped raining. Stuff's drying out. So hopefully I can make this 4th pontoon top piece soon. So my fiberglass is sitting here drying out again. Not too wet. Alright, well that's drying out. I may as well answer one of these questions I'm always getting. Which is, "Jamie, why are you always doing stuff the hard way? You're always doing everything from scratch. Why don't you do it the way other people can show you how to do it? Because they've got tried and true methods that have been tested over the ages and they have it all perfected and excellent." Nobody has it perfected and excellent. You don't learn anything following the instructions. I mean, you can learn something following the instructions the first time. But then, if you really want to learn stuff, you gotta try stuff on your own. So anyway, I find that I gain much more experience, and I learn a lot more if I do things on my own. And sometimes I'll find that I end up doing it the way everyone else is anyway. But then other times I'll find these other ways to do things that I never would have figured out otherwise if I hadn't just done it myself. And if you look at like everything in my life here, like 90% of the stuff is way outside of what I was told to do. So that's why I don't just like go to the internet all the time and look up what I'm supposed to do anytime I do anything. So you're not reinventing the wheel just because you want to make your wheel your own way. It's just because you feel like doing it yourself and you're thinking and you're using your brains and learning. Right? Right. Nah. Hey Turkey, how's it going?
Hi.
Can you talk loud?
Hi.
What are you doing?
Picking a creature off of my bean plant. Eating them.
Put it this way, if everyone just did what everything else around them was doing, we'd all still be single-celled organisms. Oh, that better come off that sheet.
We use 2 wings.
Wait, tell me, what did you make?
A carrot. We made a carrot. And we use
Can I see your carriage?
a bungee cord and... Oh, yeah, so pop it over a few. Princess Peanut Butter, get in it.
Did you say Princess Peanut Butter get in?
Yes, I made peanut butter.
Hey, Princess Peanut Butter, can you get in the carriage? I think it needs weight to hold down the carriage part.
Yeah, it does. Can you get in, like, in the hot?
Can you ask Princess Peanut Butter to get in the carriage?
Get in the carrot, Princess Peanut Butter. Step on the skateboard. Step on the
Oh,
skateboard.
Princess Peanut Butter is not cooperating.